And what you want to do is basically start buffing out all this headlight and
It's recording.
Oh, okay. Hello, thanks for clicking on the video. Welcome to Bullcrack Club. Today we're going to be showing you how we're going to
do a headlight restoration on this Nissan Altima. I had like almost a huge stutter right there, but yeah, so the left headlight or their right side, when you're sitting, fuck this.
passenger side. Passenger side.
The passenger side headlight needs to be restored.
This car's been in an accident and the left front was replaced because of the accident. The right front has never been replaced, so the basically the passenger side is faded and all yellow-ish, and
Cracked.
apparently he can fix that. So
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna show you how to do it.
thank you. Watching YouTube. Thank you. YouTube mechanic, dude.
So we have a list of things that we got going on here for the headlight restoration. So I detail cars, so I invested into a little bit of a higher end tool here, and I use this Milwaukee right here with the hook and loop system. What you're gonna need is basically these little sandpaper discs. So you're gonna start off with P1000, so 1000 grit, and then you're gonna work up to 1500, which is basically two-step headlight restoration. You're going to start off with a clay bar on the headlight just to remove any bugs or anything that's on the lens. After that, we're going to lift the hood up so we don't have to tape off any of this end right here. We're going to tape off the rest of this headlight just to protect it from the sanding discs, and we're just going to go to town with the wet sand job. So, like stated earlier, the first thing you want to do is lift up the hood. That way you can save yourself the tape. You don't have to tape up all around here. Your engine bay will get dirty, but hopefully in the future we can just make a how to detail your engine bay video and show you guys how to do that. So yeah, so you're going to want to start off with this, lift up the hood. Next thing that I would do is take what I have right here is just a glass cleaner and a nice aggressive clay bar, and I'm going to spray it all up, hit it with the clay bar, wipe it down, and make sure that it's nice and smooth. Alright, so we just clay barred this and it already came out just a little bit better. You can tell that it's a lot, like, you can't really tell on camera, but it's a lot more smooth. You can still hear a little bit of noise here and there, but that's when the wet sanding is going to come in and remove all that extra junk, the old UV layered crap that's faded out. Next step, what you want to do is start taping off all the edges that are on the bumper, the fender, and just kind of protect everything from the next step that's going to be with the wet sanding. So I taped everything off here on the edges. Everything is pretty covered. Everything, especially, and you want to focus on these ends right here. The bumper is always plastic, so you want to really make sure you get all into the underneath the headlights and everything like that. So I'm starting off with 1000 grit. This is going to be a two-stage. The first thing you want to do is obviously throw the sand disc on the machine. For wet sanding, obviously you need to have a lubricant, so I'm going to use the glass cleaner as well. Just spray it all up here, make this surface nice and lubricated, and then start with the first grit. In the middle of this 1000 grit sanding, what you're going to find is sometimes your pad and everything is going to start getting a little more stuck onto the headlight. It's going to start slowing down the process of the rotary. What you want to do is just lubricate the headlight a little bit more, make it nice and lubricated, and then also a big thing is to clean off the sand disc itself. So what I like to do is just spray it up like that, wipe it with my fingers, spray it one more time and it's good to go for another session of this. Nice. That's when you know you need to change your pad. As you might have saw, my other pad kind of just like slipped off where it was in the hook and loop system, so I just grabbed another one of those sanding pad and just threw it on this headlight and finished it off. So it's going to be very nice and hazy, but if you can tell, it's going to be a lot more smooth than what it was before. That's really good, because all you're taking off right now is that UV coating that the original factory headlight had, and you're going to be basically removing that and restoring it and protecting it afterward. So after the 1000 grit, we're going to move up to a 1500 grit, which is a finer grit, and after that, we're going to start hitting the buff and the polishing. Dude, my fucking, look at my legs. Alright, so yeah, we just hit this with the 1500 grit and now it's super smooth. When this dries, you're still going to see a haze, and this is when the compound and polisher are going to come in hand. So what I'm going to do now is just remove all these tape that I have left over, and everything looks really nice. And like stated earlier, I mean, if you look into the engine bay and everything, it's going to be a very dirty job, just because you're trying to remove a huge amount of that factory clear coat and all the junk that was built up on the surface. So it's just going to be one of those kind of jobs that you got to deal with it, and you're gonna get dirty, the car's gonna get dirty, and that's just the name of the game. Alright, so the next step, you're gonna have to do the buffing and polishing on these headlights. This right here is a wool pad. I believe this is a 3-inch right here. I use this for the buffing part, so what that's gonna do is remove all the extra haze and junk that's on your headlights. Following up with that, you're gonna run a polish on a polishing pad. This is my soft foam pad. I use this for polishing on headlights. It's nice and small, it'll get into the right spots, and it won't burn the paint, and that's very important when you're doing this, especially on the bumper, because it's plastic. We're going to be using the exact same machine as we were using for the wet sanding part, and yeah, I mean, this thing's pretty good. The compound I'm using is made by Rupes. This is just their coarse compound, blue tip. And then the polishing I'm using is also made by Rupes, and this is just their standard yellow tip polish, and these are my go-to products when it comes to headlight restorations. Come on. It's gonna come out all at once. There's just crap on the tip.
That's what she said!
That's what I was trying to say. So don't use this much compound. Maybe you can use like half this amount right about there. And what you want to do is basically start buffing out all this headlight and alright, anyway. so you're going to want to use this, get into the headlight, just be cautious about all these edges right here because you're going to start touching the bumper. I'm just going to work, alright? They'll see it. So the way I know when I'm done with a certain section of the headlight restoration, when it's on the buffing step, is you can see that the compound is still on top of here, but you can see on this end how it's nice and clear now. And you know, going through the wet sanding process, hitting a 1500 grit, when you're compounding it, it'll start clearing up and everything will start being way more clear and more visible if you're doing it the right way. So I'm gonna continue and hit the rest of this headlight with the same concept of when it clears up and when it looks clear like this, I don't gotta buff that area anymore. That's ready for polish. So, I just finished buffing this out and it already looks 10 times better. The next step you want to do before polishing is just do a nice little glass cleanup one last time. Make sure you got all that residue off that was from the compound. That way your polish will do the rest of the work and you're off to being able to run a sealant on it. Alright, so I just finished the polish here and I'm just going to wipe this down one last time and, you know, just double check if everything is looking really good. And so far it looks a lot better than what it was. What you want to what you're gonna want to do one more time is just to go over it with a glass cleaner again, just to remove all the residue and basically prepare it for a sealant of some sort. So what people do occasionally is run a synthetic sealant on this. They buy a normal wax, or they also use clear coat, like a spray on clear coat. I'm just gonna run a synthetic sealant on this. It should protect it up to 9 months. Just let me know. All right, so what I'm gonna be using here is the McGuire synthetic sealant. I just bought this thing off Amazon. I think it was like $7 or $9, in between there. And these nice little pads. So I just like to get a nice little circle going in here, fill it in a little bit, and then I just run the sealant on top of this everywhere. That way, it can start protecting it. Now, at minimum, what people recommend is, I believe it's like half an hour of just letting it sit in there and soak into the headlight. So what I'm gonna do is just wait the half hour and give you guys the final shots, the final results, and yeah, hopefully you'll see a big transformation in the before and after, and hopefully this also helps you out to be a little bit more confident with doing your own headlight restorations at home. This goes to show that you can also do it with those DIYs, headlight restorations that they sell at like an AutoZone or Walmart. They're all basically the same concept. I just have higher end tools because I'm doing detailing professionally, so it's a little bit easier for me.
So I just moved a hot tub, came back. Meanwhile, Akko was working on this headlight. How'd you do?
I think this headlight came out great, and as you can tell with the 2-stage wet sanding and the buff and the polish with the sealant, everything came out good. You'll see the before and after pictures. Other than that, I mean, stay tuned for the next episodes, and I'll see you guys next time.
Like, share, subscribe.
Welcome to the club, boys.
Skedaddle!